and welcome to my channel. It's Rebecca, also known as 4Kids at 147. I'm just going to shuffle my chair over so I'm a bit more in the middle. And yeah, what I'm going to do now is I've just done a review on this Ever Moment painting, which I've just finished. Absolutely love it. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to de-kit. This part of the process I like, some people don't, and if you want to do a quicker and an easier option, by all means do it. But I quite like this sort of de-kitting process as much as I like the kitting up. So let's get started. So I do use my inventory sheet, and partly the reason for that is I have already, as well as of course checking off the inventory, which I've done here, I have already put a star next to any of the colours that I need for my Heaven and Earth Designs project, which I'm completing using my spares. So I am going to keep this sheet with me while I go through this process, and what I'm going to do first is I'm going to put away all the ones that I don't need for my Heaven and Earth Designs, and they're going to go into my spare diamond storage. Now for my spare diamond storage, I do have a video on how I created these. Absolutely awesome way of saving your spare diamonds. They don't take up too much space, but it's neat, tidy, and if you need them you can find them. So we'll start off with 154. Now I have pulled this out and I have seen, I've got a bag of 154 in square, I've got a bag of 154 in round, and then I have a bag that's 154 square and also has EM on it. Now in my spares I do keep my Ever Moment diamonds separate, and the reason I do that is just because I find their quality, I've never had an issue with the quality of their diamonds. Now there are other companies that I haven't had an issue with either. However, I haven't found another company that has them packaged the same way as Ever Moment. So I do like to keep theirs separate. I know it's probably overkill, but I do. So quite often what I do is I just add an additional little label that just has EM on it for Ever Moment. I'm just going to do a few of them, and I use those to keep the spares separate from the rest, and I have found that when I am working quite often, especially on this Heaven and Earth Designs project at the moment, I do find myself gravitating towards the Ever Moment. I'm not likely to have an Ever Moment painting that runs out of diamonds. So because of that, you know, I may as well put the spares to good use, and if I can use them in my Heaven and Earth Designs, all the better. So I do keep the packets of them that I do have left over. I do keep those separate as well. I don't tend to put the number in a label on those because they do tend to be on the bag, but I will just put an EM so I know that they're an Ever Moment. So that's that colour done. So quite often that's what you'll find I have, and then I may have bags with full packets of squares or rounds, and they all just tip in here under 154, and then no matter what I need I have the options. So 154 is done, and then I'll take the label off the top of there, and that starts getting it ready for the next project. So 155, what do I already have in here? So I already have some square in here. Now this is sort of a case-by-case basis, I'm going to say with this. So normally I would put the Ever Moment diamonds separate. However, in here there is about 10. For about 10, I don't think it's worth using an extra bag, so I am going to tip those in with the rest. They are a slightly different shade, but I don't feel as though they're worth having their own bag because there is about 10. However, I do have a spare bag, so I am going to make sure that I label that up. Oh, I'm recycling bags here, and there's one here with a couple of little bits in it. Let me get rid of that. Bits of whatever diamonds came out of that packet. So I'm going to keep the 155, of course, is already labelled on the top, and I'm going to stick a little EM on the front. So that was a little bit different from the norm for me, but with it only being about 10 diamonds, it just wasn't worth it. Okay, 161. And by the looks of it, I already have Ever Moment for this again. So I already have an Ever Moment with spare packs. I have some round that need putting together. In fact, I have lots of round that needs putting together. So they're square, they're round, they're square. Okay, so this is where I'm partly organised but not fully organised. So 161, I'm not sure if I've actually started using that already. Yeah, so 161 is something that I am using in my Heaven and Earth designs. However, I have enough of the colour, which is why I've not added any more. So I already have enough. What I will have done with this is I will have used the Ever Moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop those Ever Moments in there, because they're in effect all Ever Moments now. So again, another little break from the norm. See, throw little curveballs in there. But while I'm here, what I am going to do is I'm going to combine my others. I did used to always do a separate bag for every painting. Every painting that I finished, I would create a separate bag, and I would put all the diamonds in just from that painting in that bag and collect multiple bags. As you can see from 161, I would collect multiple bags all in the same place. What I've found as I've gone on, especially with some colours that we do have a lot of, that bag needs cleaning out. What I have found, especially with some of the colours, is that it was just getting too many bags. It was just getting a little bit too ridiculous. I don't want to be using that much plastic. I don't use my spares to fill in gaps anywhere near that much. In fact, the main thing I've done with my spares is my Heaven and Earth Designs project. So I'm finding it's just not worth keeping them separated. So as I've been packing kits away recently, as I've come across a colour, I've been taking the time at that time to combine them. I'm not going to sit there and just combine them all on one. I ain't got the energy for that. I'm one of those people that probably would sit there and do it all, and I'm trying to make myself not, because yeah, it's just too much work. So we'll pop the other spare 161s that are already labelled Ever Moment, and this is why I'll have marked my sheet as having enough, because I've got all these spares already. So let's pop those away. Okay, and then 301 is one that I do need for my Heaven and Earth Designs, so we'll keep that. 307, and this is one that the only one I have is a bag left over from my daughter, so we need to newly bag this one up. So we're going to do a little label, and for my label I do 307 and then I do -S, which is to show that it's the square, and then I do also have 4 spare bags of this as well. So I do chop them up so that I find that they fit and nestle into these bags a bit easier. If I've got quite a few, quite often I will fold up the bottom edge so that diamonds go all the way down to the bottom. And then I'll stack the rest in and tuck them behind so they sort of line up, slightly overlapping each other. And then on the top one, I'll fold over the top part so that when that tucks in, it tucks in near the top. Quite often it sometimes will still sort of shuffle down a little bit more, but just make sure that I can close up the bag and keep those as flat as possible. And it helps with some rigidity as well when they're all stood up. So let's pop a little EM on there and one on this one. And then for this one we'll use our label, which of course I've smudged. Isn't that always the way? So we've got 307. And that's my Ever Moments 307 separate from the rest. And then we have, 310s. I know I should have some Ever Moment 310s in here. I just need to find out which ones they are, because these, I don't know if you can see them there, these are all my 310s. Okay, sorry, pause, just while my daughter came in. 310s, I've just had a look and my 310s from my last Ever Moment aren't in here, which means they're in my Heaven and Earth designs. So I am actually going to do what I did with 161, and I'm going to put the remainder of the blacks in with my Heaven and Earth designs, because they'll definitely get used. And then I'm just going to bag up the spare one so that I know which one it is. This will probably also get used for my Heaven and Earth designs, but we'll get it bagged up for now and popped it in. Ooh, if you hear that thundering and clattering upstairs, that is also my daughter. Her room is above my craft room. So that's the 310s done. So let's have a look now at 371. It's all going here. Sorry, that was my son on the phone, so I had to pause again. Okay, 371, I've had a look. I do not have any of this for Ever Moment. So I'm going to get myself a label created. And I've had a look, I can't see any spares on this one either. So we are just talking the one pot. By the looks of it, there was quite a few left over from this one anyway, so it must have been one of the ones that I didn't need many and I got a big bag from. So let's pop an EM label on and then a 371. In one way it was easier when I did separate bags, because I'd just create a label for each bag, do them all in bulk and jobs are good 'un. But it definitely took up more space in my storage, so it needed to be done. Okay, 402, that is also one that's not needed for my Heaven and Earth designs, and it's actually a colour I've never had before by the looks of it, if I can actually get to the opposite side of the piece of card. Got two pieces of card stuck together. Nope, it was one that I did not have at all. So we are adding another colour, and we do have spare bags of these as well. I'm going to pop these in a bag, just giving chance for my label with the colour on it to dry a little bit by doing this part first. I get those two to lie in there. I'll pop a little EM sticker. As I say, I am reusing bags, so those are 161 bags. I've taken the labels off when I had my visitors. So yeah, I took the little labels off those and I'm just starting to reuse them. And then we'll pop a little 402. and hopefully this hasn't decided to stick together again. And of course it has. So I have all my pieces of card for every DMC number in there already. And that's that one. So that's a whole tray part done. We actually got a full section of 4 done for that one, but we do have 39 colours with this. So bear with me. So we've got 498. 498, I do have some, but they're not Ever Moment ones. So these will get their own bag. 498 and then an S. And we do also have some spares of these as well. Still in the bag 4. Put those two together. I have actually got another Ever Moment on its way. In fact, I have a few nice diamond paintings on their way. So I may have had a little bit of a splurge, should we say, on a few different diamond paintings that actually have a few different homes. I've also actually ordered from Whoacan. I've had trouble with them in the past, but I have ordered 2 paintings from them. One in round and one in square, so I'm of the same picture. So I am going to do a little bit of a round versus square experiment, which I know has been done before. So I've also, the reason I ordered it from Whoacan was because I also wanted to test, in effect, test Whoacan out on whether they have improved. So yeah, I've got those on their way. I've got a couple of different accessories on their way. Sorry, I'm just trying to see if I've got a spare of this one. I have. So yeah, I've got a few accessories on the way. I've also got a few larger diamond paintings on their way. One of them being from Ever Moment, a couple being from other companies. So keep an eye out if you want to see what they look like when they start arriving. Of course, I'll be doing unboxings on those, and I'll show you what they're like. But yes, I had a little bit of a shopping spree on AliExpress and may have a few pieces coming. Okay, so that's 517. So now I've got a few of those. I've got Ever Moment in 2 different varieties. I've got 517 in round, and then I've got 517 in square with a spare bag from a different company. So that's sort of the maximum amount of bags I should end up with for one particular colour, but we'll see how things go. So that's 517, and I did have to shuffle these all up in my box. It was getting to the point where it was getting a bit too crowded. There are still parts of it that are too crowded, but for now it's working. Oh, I've got a label that's giving me some didn't come off in one. Not used to that. Okay, so the next 2 are ones that are for the Heaven and Earth design. So next we've got 581. So I'm still on the first box. For 581, I only have one, and it's not Ever Moment. So let's create a label. 581S. I think in the past I have only done, I've only done 2 Ever Moment. No, maybe I've done 3. I know I've done 2 customs from Ever Moment. I did the ballerinas and I did a custom for my son's room. I do tend to sway towards them for customs. This one was my third, and I think the only one that I've done that is from a stock photo. I'll have to go through my little list of inventory and see if they are the only Ever Moment ones I've done. There's the 2 customs and this one, because my mind can't remember now. You guys probably know better than me if you remember what you've watched on my channel. Okay, so that's 581 is now in a home, and then 600 is in my Heaven and Earth Designs. 666 either isn't, or I don't need any more. Again, I've only got normal square bags in there, so let's create a label. 666 in S, and that is a bright red, and I do have a couple of spare bags in this as well. I do like the fact that Ever Moment will tell you which way up the number goes. That can be quite helpful. I have definitely done them upside down before, but if it's an unsure number or it can be read either way up, they are normally pretty good at telling you which way they go. So that's one Ever Moment. I knew this unboxing was going to take a while. But I need to get this one unboxed because I can't prep my next one because my other daughter has pinched my other storage. I have about 5, maybe 6 of these. I think my eldest daughter's pinched 1. My second eldest daughter has pinched 2 of these. And I think another one my youngest daughter's got for the one that she's doing. Oh, and I forgot to actually label up what number it was. I put the EM on, but I didn't put what number. Yeah, so between my 3 daughters and the ones of these that they've pinched of mine, I only have these 2 left. So for my next painting, which is the 30 by 30 that I've already done and unboxed, I need these cases. So I need to get this unboxed to be able to prep the next one. So I actually haven't done any diamond painting for a few days because I've not got round to getting in here and getting these all prepped and ready, and getting all these diamonds away, and in turn prepping the next one. My son turns 18 in a couple of days. Probably will have already turned 18 by the time this video goes out, because I keep ending up queuing up with videos as well. Getting round to getting them edited and getting them uploaded and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I do have a few busy nights getting ready for his 18th, which is coming up. So I suppose I don't really have as much evening time to diamond paint as I may normally have. However, I have sneaked into my craft room this evening to at least try and get this one de-prepped. Oh, I was trying to work out what I've done then, and the numbers are the wrong way around. Okay, so 807 is the next one that's not in my Heaven and Earth Designs. And for 807, I do already have an EM bag, but I don't have of spares, but I don't have one of diamonds. So, and I actually don't have any spares in this one. So the question is that one also in my Heaven and Earth Designs? And the answer is no. So maybe, for some reason, I actually didn't have any spare last time. Maybe I used them all up and only had spare bags completely. It's a bit different, but we'll take it. Just going to check no, it's definitely not there. So I mustn't have had any left over. What I should start doing maybe is trying to use up some of the loose ones of an Ever Moment and keeping hold of the bags when I get another painting. Maybe that's a bit too extreme. But I do like the fact of using up and just keeping spare full bags. I don't know, my brain will process that one. It'll let you know if it changes when my next Ever Moment turns up. Okay, so that's 807 and then 819, which is a pale pink, which is what looks white. And in this one we have some that we need to combine, even though they are two different shades in the rounds. I am going to put them together because I'm not likely to need them for filling in a round diamond painting, and if I do, or indeed if I were to send them to somebody else to use, then at least they have two shades and they can match it to the closest one that they need for the spares. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to combine those two and get those together which aren't Ever Moment, and then I'm going to keep the label on this bag and just pop an Ever Moment on the front, or an EM. So EM there, and I need another one because I do have a spare bag. Only one spare bag of this, so I'm just going to pop it in long ways. And then if I ever get any more, I'll of course turn it round and stack them all up. So that's 819 combined. 818, 819. And what's next? We're getting there. We are getting there. 892. So we've got 892. And I don't have any of those. Do I have any spares? I do. Spare full bags. So we've got 892-S, and then I need two labels that say Ever Moment. This is why it takes so long. It takes longer because I am checking against whether I've got them in previous bags or not. That stops me doing things in bulk, which can speed things up. But as I say, you do what works for you. For some people, they'll just chuck away the spares. Fair enough. if that works for you, I mean, you should get enough in every diamond painting. So if you really don't have the patience, the inclination or whatever, just get rid of your spares. Some people throw them all into one big tub, like a big jam jar, and they'll just all be mixed up in all different colours. Some people will label them up or will use a bag system when they're actually doing the diamond painting. So therefore when they're done, they will just throw the bags as they are in their spares. So you just find something that works for you. The way you like to store things, the time you like to spend, any of that. Okay, so again, I've got one there. So we've got 907, yes, and then two little labels to say that it's Ever Moment. Part of me now just wants this bit done so I can get to the part of my Heaven and Earth design colours. But I'm getting there. I know there's more colours further on that are actually used for the Heaven and Earth design, so things should get a lot quicker. I did once when I had to kick my last diamond paintings, diamonds out of these tubs so that my daughter could pinch them. I did just peel the labels off the top of the containers and stick them on the front, just so that I knew what they were until I was ready to sort it out properly. And I must say a few of the labels did start to peel up. They are sort of not permanent labels, so they're not gonna like being lifted up and put back down too often. So I'm glad I actually don't reuse the labels onto the bags, because I don't know how much they would stick and stay in place in this storage. Okay, 917 we use. Okay, 945 is the next one. Are we in this? Oh, we are. And we have got Ever Moment. So we've got one here that's just got some spare bags, of which I can add one to. And then we have two here that are very different in colour, but do you know what? I'm still going to stick them together, because there's only so many different colours that I can take. So many different bags. So I'm going to throw those together as the other company. And for this one, I know I don't have the sort of loose diamonds. I don't have a bag with any loose diamonds in it, because this is a colour from the ballerina painting, which I did for my niece. And what I did with all the bags that were already pre-opened and spares, I took them to Australia with me, and I stuck them to the back of the photo frame that we put the diamond painting in, so that should anything happen and any of them come off, they have the colours in the back. So that's those. And actually, if you have a look, this is the first time I've seen this with Ever Moment. I'm not sure if you can see it properly. They are slightly different dye lots. There's not a lot in it. There isn't a lot in it, but those two at the bottom is slightly different from this one above. So even the same company will have different dye lots. And it's just because diamond painting is not done in the same way. You know, how the diamonds are created is not done in the same way and is in as a controlled way as DMC threads are. But I can imagine the impact on a DMC thread being a different colour would be a whole lot greater than it would for us diamond painters. Okay, 972 is next, and I think I might be into the next box. Yes. So that one only goes up to 950. This is where I do a little juggle about. So this one is my other two, and then I have spare bags and stickers. And for those eagle-eyed people, you may have noticed that I used to have the Heaven and Earth design colours in here. I have a new box for those now. I have a new space, so I'll show you that when I get to the end of these colours. So 972 and two labels for the spares. So yeah, I've sort of spread out now. Instead of it stopping about here, I've spread them out so it fills it up, just to try and free them up a little bit and let them move and be able to put diamonds in and out a little bit freer. I've got to say, some of them do feel as though they need a little bit more of a shuffle for me to be able to make it work. But I'll do that as and when. So we've got 972. Let's pop those in with the other one and only spare bag. So the other two I need for Ever Moment. This one, the lid's opened up. Oh yes, there they are, all scattered across the bottom. Okay, so we'll get those while we're doing it. So this is 3726. I've got 3726. We don't have that at all. Do we have any spare bags? We do. So we've got 3726-S, and then I need 2 EM labels. So let's see if we can get, okay, there we go. That was easy enough. Got some spare ones that need throwing away in there, so let's get these in first. Okay, let's get those in and safe, and then I have a little pot here that's just had a couple of little bits of rubbish. Let's get rid of those. And then I've actually got a pack of 2 diamonds that were stuck together in the middle. Okay, so we've got 3726, and then we need a baggie for these. And then we've got 2 more colours that I don't need for my Heaven and Earth designs. And that will then be most of my spares put away. Just a little EM. So my memory card just did my little I want to save and stopped recording on me, but luckily it beeps at me to let me know what it's going to do. Take that label off. 3750. I do have spares of these, however I don't have any that are Ever Moment. I think this one's also in my Heaven and Earth designs. Oh no, it's not. No, I must just not have had it as much as I thought I've done. So I'm just going to tip these 2 rounds together, because as I say, I am starting to combine the bags as and when I come across them as I'm doing the colours. So we'll combine those 2. I do have some loose bags, but they're from a different manufacturer. So let's get a label. Do we need? They're not it, definitely, they're the next one. No, we don't have any other spares. So we've got 3750, and we need 1 EM sticker. In fact, yeah, I only actually needed 58 of these for the whole painting, so they didn't need to send me any more bags. So we've just got a few spares. So we've got, what, we've used maybe 1/3 of a bag, even if we're being generous, and all the rest get to go in the spares. So that's 3750, and then 3760 is the last one that I won't need to use for my Heaven and Earth designs. So 3760. And I do already have an Ever Moment bag for those, but I don't have a spare one. So was that in my... No, that one wasn't in my Heaven and Earth designs either. So let's create a little bag for those. 3760-S and then an EM. For the spares, I can pop those in with the others. So it's either one that I didn't have any left over, or a bit like the first colour I did. If I only had 3 or 4 diamonds, you know, or less than 20 diamonds, then I've probably just thrown them in with the others. It's not worth creating a bag for that many. So I have just created a label when I had one already on here. Oh well. So let's combine those other manufacturers first. Oh well, we'll change it so the labels are all the same. They look nice anyway. So we've got 3760. The only other thing I've actually thought is it could be one that I do need for my Heaven and Earth designs. I just have enough. So it could be that I already have a bag for it, put in with my Heaven and Earth designs. But I'm not going to start getting that complicated because I already complicate things far too much. Okay, so that is all the colours done for just my normal spares. So let me show you what I am now using for my Heaven and Earth designs. Is still a photo box, but look at this little cute one. So it is actually, it's half the size. So it's half the size of a normal photo box, and I still get to put 2 little rows going lengthwise. So I've just used another piece of foam board. And then I have got some pieces of card in here, but they're only sort of just at intervals to keep the bags upright. I've not labelled up for every single colour because that's just a bit too extreme. So that's what I'm using to keep the ones that I don't yet need for my Heaven and Earth designs. And then the colours that I've already started are in here. So I've got my first tray, so this is sort of my first set of numbers, and then I've got my spares box. So the first one we come across is 301, and if I have a look, I haven't yet got a pot for it, which means it either goes in here or it needs to go in here. So we've got 301, and that's actually here, 301, and it's actually, oh no, it's a very similar colour. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tip these in to here. Let's have a look. How many do I actually need? That might help me. So for 301, I need 551 in total. So I've got those, and I've got a spare bag. So if that's about 180, I think I can change this now to say that I have enough. So 301, I don't need any more. Oh, I have enough. But I'm not going to open this bag because I'm not going to need that bag. So what I'm going to do is I'm still going to keep them together. I'm just going to keep them together in this pot, and if I need them, I can get them, and if I don't, they can go back in my spares when I'm done. So let's label that. Try not to smudge the ink. Oh look, I actually even have another bag already as well. Of a different one. So I have a few of those. I think I have enough, but I'll keep them all together until I move them over when I'm done. Okay, so the next colour is 524, and for this one, 524, 356 is the total amount I need. And it's not in a pot, which means it's in here. So we've got 524, and that's the other batch that I have. So I have 2 unopened packets, I have loose ones, and then I have, of course, the Ever Moment as well. So what I think I might do is I might just put an EM, because this sort of system is a little bit more disorganised, should we say. until they start going into pots. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop them both in together, a bit like I have with this one. The loose ones and the packets are all together. I'm going to reuse this label, because if it falls off, I've still got the bag to tell me which one it is. But I am going to label it up with an EM, so that if they end up left over, I know they're Ever Moment, or indeed I'll use them first, because I like to use the Ever Moment spares for something. So that's 524. 553. Now that one is already in a pot. 553. It's already in a pot, and I only need on this painting 104. So I reckon I'm going to have enough in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tip in the loose ones. They're like 3 different colours now. 553 is like 3 different colours of purple. But hey, they're all 553. So I'm going to keep those and use those as my spares. And then I'm going to bag this one up as separate. So EM, because it's already potted, I'm going to class that one as done. Because it's already potted, I know I am not going to reach for these spares at all, because I only need 104, and I definitely have 104 in that pot. So I will pop those into my normal spares in a moment. Okay, what's next? 600. 600 is also potted. For this one, all I need is 55. So I'm going to do the same again. I'm going to tip in the spares, and that should be enough 55. That is definitely 55 in there. So I'm going to tip the 600 in, and I'm going to put these into a bag and put them in my spares. There is no point in opening that bag for the sake of using Ever Moment when I only need 50 something of them. If I can get the label off. So that's another one from the spares box. Okay, 725. 725 I didn't have any of, and I need 116. Okay, so I didn't have them at all, and I need 116. I have a few spares and I have 2 bags. So for 725, I'm going to class that one as I have enough. So I'm going to mark off my sheet as I have everything. And for this one, I haven't needed it yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to club them together. So a bit like I did before, I will deal with what I'll probably do when I go to open them up is I'll put those in a pot and I'll put 1 pack in the pot. I won't put the other one in. But I'll do that when I come to that colour, rather than doing it now and then second guessing myself when it comes to potting it up, which I do all the time. I am going to mark it, of course, as Ever Moment, and I'm just going to pinch the label off the front. There is no point in wasting stickers if I can get away with it. If that falls off, the bags will tell me. So I'll pop those in with the 700s in roughly the right place. Okay, so the next one's 733, and on here I'm actually moving to the next page. Okay, so for 733, it's the same as before. I didn't have any. I needed 447. I have 2 bags here and I have some spare. So that means I should have enough completely of that whole colour. So I'm going to mark that as 2 ticks. I'm going to label it up to be Ever Moment. That is more for my own records than anything else, because I am more than likely going to be opening all of these when it comes to using that colour. So 733, all the bags in, EM label on the front. We've got another colour marked off. I'm liking this. I'm going to have to do a tally on my head on Nerve Designs and see exactly how many colours I need now, because I feel like I'm ticking off loads. I'm going to wait for my big influx of orders to come in from Amazon, and then I'm going to have a good look. Okay, so now we've got 779. 779 is already potted. I need 2,100 is what I've got for this one. So 779. Oh, it's quite a full pot. So I'm going to see if I can get these spares in, just because. Oof. Okay, so I've just managed to get the loose ones in. Properly filled that pot. And then I've got a spare bag. And then do I have any in here? Because sometimes I do still have them in here as well. Yeah, I've got a spare bag in here. So between that full pot and these two, I may have enough of those. So I'm going to change my little symbol to say question mark. As in, I think I have enough. I'm just not sure. And I'm going to pop these in with the spares, and I guess we'll find out if we've got enough when I get near the bottom of the painting. Okay, 801. So for 801 I need 821. It says I've got some, so I have that many, and that looks like 2 different manufacturers. And then I have these. So I still don't think I quite have enough, but I'm definitely close. So I'm going to do what I did before. I'm just going to put them both together and label it up as being an Ever Moment, so I know which diamonds they are. So that's 801. We'll pop those in. So my little tub here, I sort of have the little cardboard dividers roughly per 100. So for 600, 700, 800. Okay, 917. So for 917, that one's potted up. I think this may have been one of the ones that I pinched a few of. Yeah, it is. So it's one of the ones I pinched a few of because I needed to fill some gaps. So for 917, I need a total of 62. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tip the spares in because they were Ever Moments anyway. That is going to give me my 62. So my spare bag, I'm just going to label up and put into my spares, like I did with the others. But there we go, I have all the ones I need. Thank you, Ever Moment. In fact, I have more. I have spares. Spares of my spares. Okay, 939. I do have a very, very full mixed pot. I think, do I have a bag of 939s in here? I do. I have 939s that somebody else has sent me. I have 939s in pots. I have 939s in all sorts. So for 939s I need 15,000. I'm not going to bother marking up that these are Ever Moment. And the reason with the 939s is I'm just going to be going through every different which manufacturer anyway. So it's not worth it. So I'm just going to stick the label on the front. Hope it doesn't fall off. And I'll use that as soon as the tub runs out. 947. Now I've got 947 as being marked as having enough. So let me have a look if I've been given them by somebody else. 947. Yeah, so I've got those. I've either got those from another painting or I've got those from a subscriber. I only need 22, so I actually have enough of those. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark these up and just put them straight into my spares. Because it's not worth missing. Okay, so that's one in there. This is where it gets complicated when it comes to working out what my Heaven and Earth Designs needs. Because I'm getting in diamonds from different places, different paintings. Sometimes I mark it as needing it, and by the time I actually get to putting them in, I've got them from somewhere else. So, but hey, it all works. So I'm just going to put those ones straight into my spares and call it done, because there's only a few I need. So that's one tub claimed back. And then on the next one, so we've got 961. For 961, it's already in a pot. I think this may have been, and it does say that I've got enough at 182. But I'm going to tip in these spares. So I'm going to tip in the loose ones. So I've definitely got enough of those now. I only need 182. So I'll pop those together and I'll pop these in a bag. Sorry, I got another little pause there. Sometimes I'm just so popular. Okay, so 961. I've popped the spares in there and I don't need these, so I'm just going to pop them straight into my spares in a bag. And then, oh, and then we get to one of the big colours again. So this is 3371. This is another one that I need about 10,000 of. I've currently filled up the pot with spares that I've been given by people. I don't have any loose bags. I have a huge bag there. I have a ruck of smaller bags that somebody's kindly sent me, but they're not going to fit in there either. So what I'm going to do for this one, again with this one, I'm not going to bother marking it as Ever Moment. I'm not likely to have them left over or want to prioritise using these over the others because I'm going to be using them all. I need 10,000 of them. So I'm just going to stick the label on, throw them in with the rest, and job's a good one. Okay, 3688. Now I'm sure that this is definitely one of the ones that I pinched. 3688. Okay, so I need 598 in total. So I'm going to throw those in there, and I have marked those as being done now. I think I've pinched a few Ever Moment and then I was sent some by somebody. So I have marked those as being complete. So that's that one done. It's quite easy, wasn't it? So we've got about 4 left now. What's next? 3804. Okay, so for 3804, I need 38 is what I need for this design, and I didn't have any. So I'm going to mark that as now being completed because I have a few in here and I have a pack. So I am going to stick that as ever moment, because if I get any other spares or anything, I'll of course want to know that they're ever moment. And what I'm actually going to use is an ever moment bag rather than getting some more spare bags out, because these aren't going in my spare storage. They don't all need to be the same size. Let's just, in fact, I could have just written on the label. Anyway, I might do that next time. So that's 3804. I'm going to pop these in here, ready for when I need them. But that's another colour ticked off. I'm liking this. Okay, so we've got 38. We're on the next page. Ooh. On the last page. 3819. So for this, I need 160. I've marked it as a question mark. I'm now going to mark it as a yes, because I definitely have 160 in there. Do I have any in here already? 3819. I do. There they are. And for this one, I'm just going to tip them all together, because I'm going to tip them all in the same tub anyway. 3819. Because I do mix the ever moment with the non-ever moment in this, I'm just going to throw it all in. Okay, 3853. Now I have marked this one as having enough at 191. So 3853. Here it is. So I must have been given these from somebody else. So what I'm going to do with this one, there is only a few, is I'm going to tip the ever moment in with the rest, use them in my Heaven and Earth designs, and I'm going to put the spares straight into my spares. So I'm going to mark that as EM. And for this, I will need to get some of the bags I use, because they are the same size as all my other spares. And we'll chop these down. And then we've got one more colour. I feel like I've done really well on ticking off some of these colours at the moment. And I can't wait to box up the next painting either, because I know there's a few colours in there that I've needed. But I was a bit behind on updating my Heaven and Earth designs to be a true reflection of what I have as spares at the moment. And I feel like I've caught up a little bit more now. Okay, so 3853, they can go straight into the spares. And then last but not least, we've got 3861, which is potted. 3861, which is potted. It's actually potted and busting. There's a couple of different shades in this one, depending on where they came from. I need 1053. I have this pot, and then I have, what, 400, even if we're being conservative from Ever Moment. So I'm going to mark that one as complete, as in I don't need any more. I'm not going to try and fit any in here, because I even don't think I'm going to fit them in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop the spares in here. Where's my permanent marker? I'm just going to do what I should have done before and just write EM on the bag. I'm going to pop them all together. So I'm going to throw in those. So if I only need a few, I'll use a few. And then if not, I have the bags but we won't know that until I get right down to the bottom of that picture. So there we go. And that's it. So that is my Ever Moment depotted, my really complicated process of getting them bagged up into the spares and or into my Heaven and Earth Designs, or my Heaven and Earth Design spares. It all makes sense to me. If you've watched my channel for a while, it may make sense to you if you've seen my Heaven and Earth Designs project. You'll know that I'm using spares for that, and I like to keep my little list updated. But I've now got those two empty. I've just got a couple of bags to put away that are Heaven and Earth Design colours, but I'm actually not going to need, so I'm just going to get those put straight away in my spares for any future spares project that I may have. And that's how I dekit a kit, which now means that I can get these ones labelled up ready for the next one, and I'm sure you can watch that process if you want to. But thank you so much for joining me. If you've got any questions, comments or anything, please, you know, drop them below on, you know, do you enjoy, I know a lot of people enjoy the kitting up process, they have said that. You know, do you like the dekitting process as well? Do you make sort of a thing of it, put a bit of YouTube on maybe? Maybe you listen to me ramble, maybe you've been dekitting at the same time. It's always easier doing it with somebody. For me, even talking to you guys on camera can make the process a lot nicer, should we say. Otherwise, I'm sure I'd just have binge TV on and do it that way. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me. Leave your comments below. Let's get some discussion started on what you guys all prefer, and I'll speak to you all again soon.